Hello, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Monday, so we're always here with coffee, tea, thoughts, and conversations with the Biz Chicks. We are looking forward to you wading in and letting us know what's on your mind today concerning our topics. Now, I'm here with my friend and co host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to give a shout out to everyone listening on Clubhouse and those of you who are watching live or on the replay. We just want to say, hey, so happy that you stopped by, and we hope that you will gain something really valuable today. Friend, what do we have going on?
Today, we are going to talk about how to achieve your most important goals.
Oh,
And so, goal setting and goal achievement, a lot of people talk about it, and everybody wants to do it. And last couple of years, I had a challenge for all of our mastermind group to write down 100 things they wanted to accomplish. It wasn't in a particular year. It was just 100 things that they wanted to accomplish. And that was like, like, oh my gosh, I got so many. I can't think of 100 things. It was a difficult
it was a challenge.
challenge, right?
Mhm.
To write down 100 things that you wanted to accomplish. And this could have been in your lifetime. It didn't
Mm.
necessarily have to be today, right? So I decided, okay, so let's talk about it from this aspect. What are the top 3 things that you want to accomplish next year? We have a
Mm.
couple of weeks left in the year. What 3 things, the top 3 that you would like to see accomplished? And uh, so, in going about achieving your most important goals, I think the first thing, item number one on the list would be, what do you want? What is your goal? What are your top 3? Having a goal to accomplish. There are a lot of times we want to do things, but we haven't made it a goal or something. It's like, oh, I'd like to do that one day. Like, I'd like to go to Europe one day, but
Mhm.
you have to take it from that I want to do it and without any aim to making a commitment. I am going to do this particular thing. I always talk about goals as actually being commitments, changing them from goals to commitment, because a goal is something I would like to do one day in the future, or one day that I would like to accomplish it. But taking that a step further in, this is what I will do.
Mm. Mhm.
A commitment is, this is what I will do. So,
Mm.
for instance, Cecilia here, she says, clean out her garage, number one. Okay, so she's made a commitment. Oh, I'd like to clean the
Mhm.
garage one day. She made that to, no, I will clean the garage. From I want
Mhm.
to I will. So that's one of the things on how to achieve your most important goal. You got to decide that you want it, and then make the commitment for it. When you make the commitment, it changes to, I'm promising this to myself. I will do this.
Mm.
From a wish to the I will. From the want, hey, Dr. Tachi, to the I will. I like that, Terry. Go from I want to I will. This is what I will do today, or this is what I will do. All right.
Mhm.
So decide what it is, make the commitment, decide, and change it from, okay, so you decide the goal, commit to the goal, change it from I want to I will. Hey, Jasmine. So we changed it from I want to I will. All right. So then the third thing on the list is write it down.
Mm,
Write the vision and make it plain. And one young lady that I'm working with, she has this vision, and she was the vision was in such detail, and there's going to be this glass building, and there's going to be 3 floors, and there's going to be this, and I told her, I said, okay, do you have it written down? Well, no. I said that here's a new key that I thought was really really important. Take out your voice recorder, and everything you just told me, I want you to record it. So, step number 4 would be record it on your voice recorder. We have the technology to do it now. So,
mm,
therefore, it shouldn't be a difficult thing. Sometimes when you're trying to write the vision in detail, it is a little bit more difficult to do. However, if you can tell it in a story to someone, like this young lady was telling me how she saw the building and it had glass and it had 3 floors, and then these people were going to be in this section of the building, and those people, she saw all this in her mind, she saw what she wanted. And if she records it, it's a lot easier than trying to write all those details.
mm, mm-hmm.
So pull out your voice recorder, record the thing that you are going to complete, that you want to accomplish. And this is for your important goals. So, whatever that looks like for you, write it down, then record it on your voice recorder. Then, after which, I would say, we're now going to go about doing the rest of it. Listen to that every day. Brian Tracy talks about writing down your goals every day. Well, I'm telling you, write your commitments. What are you committed to for the next year? The top 3 things that you're committed to, write those down, and then also listen to that voice recorder every day.
Mm,
Listening to it every day, and that's your voice saying what you're going to do. It's
yes.
not someone else in your ear saying, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do, it's you talking to you when you put it on the voice recorder. Okay. So record it, listen to it every day, write it down every day. And because it's only 3 things and not 20, the overwhelm is gone now.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm telling you. The other thing I would say is stick to the goals. All through the year we get new tips, new things, and they tend to overwhelm us because we think we should be doing everything.
But if you are going back to your recording, you know what 3 things I'm saying focused on.
You are focused. Do you see, like blinders on a horse? Okay, that's nice. That's nice. But you know what? I'm working on this. Does that help with this? If it doesn't help with this, then okay, maybe that wasn't for me. But because I know exactly what these things are that I've committed to, just these 3 things, I love this, just these 3 things, then at least for 2022, I am working on those 3 things.
This is my visual for,
This is my map. This is
this
my
is my
roadmap.
flashcard, this is my vision board, and this is my whatever it is, whatever tool you use to keep your goals in front of you. Some people do vision boards, some people have their goals written, and okay, whatever it is, 3 is easier to accomplish than 100. So the next thing I would tell you is work on one goal at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to do all 3 of them at the same time. Get one down, get it off your list, and hit to the next one. Do one goal, one commitment at a time. So anybody else want to chime in, and what's your tips? What So I've got, is that number 5? I didn't know we
Mm-hmm.
had 5. Okay. Can you read off those numbers for me again, Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 was decide what you want.
Decide what you want.
Number 2, commit to it. Number 3, write it down. Okay. Number 4, record it. Number 5, work on one goal at a time.
Mm.
Mm, a confused mind will not
Make a
make a
decision.
decision, will not do anything. It's like, oh, it's too many, it's too much, and you'll just stop.
Exactly.
But if you have your top 3 and
Mm-hmm.
you just work on them 3 and you keep your blinders on and don't get distracted. Okay, ooh, they're doing that. Ooh, what are your 3 goals?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to weigh in? What is your tip for accomplishing your most important goals? Because we have some very accomplished women,
Yes,
men
we do.
and women in our audience. We have Alexis and Dryer Buzz and Jasmine and Ms. Wealthy and TJ and Carlos over in the clubhouse. Got Dr. Tachi here and Cecilia. Who else do we have in Facebook and YouTube? Um, everybody watching, what, and chime in. This is a conversation, coffee conversations.
Coffee,
uh,
tea, thoughts, and conversations.
Yes, today's what, how will you accomplish, what tip can you share with us that you use? Yolanda. Okay, I see you're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, try again. Oh, you know what? Hold on a minute. My headphones are trying to talk. Stand by. Let me turn these off. Okay, now try it, Yolanda.
Okay. Yeah, I want to chime in because soon as you said write it down, I jumped up and grabbed my journal and I started one on these ideas, the goals, because I'm really looking at it, like waiting for Christmas to come on and go so I can focus on 2022. But writing it down is so very important. Not only writing it down, but putting it formally, like going to that. I find that a lot of us don't take that formal step, meaning creating your like standard operating procedures. We're great at the napkin stage, meaning, oh, here's an idea. We grab a piece of paper or a napkin, write that down. Many of us can build empires based on that. In fact, empires are built and funded at the napkin stage, right? But then there's also all of this opportunities out here now that people are, let me figure out how to word this. People are generating, creating, getting things funded just based on the idea of a thing. And I mean like long-term success, things that they don't even have to deliver on right now, right? There's such a, one of the things I found, there's such a pageantry to creation and this whole thing about being a creative now. And it's been around for a while, and I've seen them because, I'm in Atlanta, so you guys see it a lot on the West Coast. And we think that something is wholly formulated, formed, right, as an entity and firms and empires and all that, and kind of find out a lot of them are not, and we miss opportunities to be seen, be heard, to grow because we don't take that formal approach and put it in writing where other people can read it and make decisions about it and get into relationships with us with what we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like say for instance, I watch conversations and I see conversations about people and successful people, and a lot of people don't realize, like let's say a writer, somebody's going to write a book, right? And they go and they spend 2-3 years just simply writing, where everybody else trying to figure out, well, dang, how do I write this book? Well, you write, like you say, you write it down, but you put it in a formal proposal or whatnot, and you get that the people who will then fund, pay off. Let me make it real simple. They'll pay all your bills, okay, for 3 years for you to go do that writing. Same thing with filmmakers. Once we see a film, they spent 2 to 5 to sometimes 10 years developing that project, and somebody paid all their bills. And I think I'm gonna stick with that. If you write it down from the napkin stage to a formal business plan and on and on and on, somebody will take just that paper and that idea and pay all your bills while you just sit and come up with stuff. And that's life, and that has been life for the past 20 years in our Western culture and around the world. Because idea people get paid to go and come up with ideas. They don't have to build it. They don't have to bring it to fruition. They just get paid to come up with ideas. And this is why it's been so hard for us to embrace the creative economy, right? Let's put it that way. Creative economy. Like, people are like, wait, people get paid to make TikToks there. Everybody ain't just out here making TikToks to get some likes and followers. They're being paid to create this thing because the science that comes, the data and the science that comes off of this stuff as to how to manipulate the behavior of people at a time when we have moved away from the original manipulation, right? And they're looking for the new manipulation, and new manipulation is in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, right now the new TikTok thing, I think, is like 7 seconds. Because in order to go viral on TikTok, you got to get people to watch at least 50% of your video. So it's like, we're there. So if you can't write it down, you're going to be out of luck. Because somebody will pay all of your bills if you can just write it down. Can you write it down so somebody can pay all your bills? That's the question. That's the goals, the ideas, right? And pass the mic.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Yolanda. Can you write it down? Because that's when we created, the old school model for getting your project funded, was that you had to write a marketing plan and a synopsis of what it is that you did and how you did it for them to fund you. You had to explain your vision pretty much. Right? You had to explain what it was that you do. Anybody else want to jump in? What a tip for accomplishing your most important goals? Anybody, what do you do? I got TJ in here. TJ, she's been accomplishing a lot of goals in the social media realm. Go for it, TJ.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I love that Jarba said that you have to write it. You have to write it down, because I was talking about that process, because that's the starting point to achieving your goals. You want to get from point A to point B, but you gotta have a plan. You gotta write down what it is you want, and then you brainstorm how to get there. You don't have to have all the answers. And then last week, I did a room, and Mark Ward was there, and he brought up a good point that a lot of people put the how. They put the how before the what. And he was saying that people you can't see it materialize, and you're letting that stop you. It's a big. You may have a big goal, and you say, "Oh, I can't do that." And he said, "Because how?" And he said, "How can I achieve that?" And then you just stop. And I was saying, if you write it down, that's your guideline. That's your plan. That you're going to take a trip. You have to say, well, where am I going? Well, how am I going to get there? And you put it in the GPS, or if you get doing a goal, you write it down, and it doesn't have to be a formal plan, like she said. You could just write it down. Yes, people use the napkins and everything, but I was saying get a notebook from the 99-cent store. Something, my daughter has lots of school supplies around here, and we buy those little spiral notebooks. They're like, what are they, 5 cents or 10 cents, and we just get a stack of them. So they're sitting around, and I'm like, I just pick one up and start writing in it. So you don't have to have a formal, I must have a PowerPoint, and no, it's just simply, like she said, writing it down makes it real, because it comes out of your head and it's on paper, and you're going, okay, now I got a guideline, a guidepost to say, how do I get from point A to point B? I pass the mic.
Thank you, TJ. And TJ is our resident social media and digital marketing guru. She's doing big things and featured almost everywhere on the web. So you can catch her here Tuesdays at 8 a.m. and on Fridays and when we do
Tech Diva Weekly.
Yes, the Tech Life Weekly. So let's talk about that. Anybody else? Wealthy, Jasmine, or Alexis?
We have a comment over here on Facebook. Let's see.
Okay, I break down goals, and whoever this Facebook user is, give us your name because we don't see that just yet. I break down goals between must do today and stretch goals, things that would be great to finish but not vital for today. Also, you do not move to number 2 on the list until number 1 is completed. You don't move to number 3 until number 2 is completed. That is excellent, which means you are not, you don't multitask when you.
She says, and she always begins with the thing for which you have the most,
resistance. It will give you momentum. And this is Mark. Okay, Mark. So always begin, put that back one more time, please. Always begin the next one.
Oh, this one. Always begin
with the thing for which you have the most resistance.
Do the hardest thing first. Eat that frog first.
Right. Yeah. If you're into eating frogs. Okay. Yeah. So you do the hard thing first. See, in when we talked about writing down your top 3 goals, so you wrote it down, and TJ and Yolanda said, write it out, be real clear, take it from napkin to more detailed. When you wrote it out, got it clear, I'm saying that record it to a voice recorder so you can remember what it is that you're talking about, and it keeps it in front of you. Now, what's the plan for it? What's the plan to carry it out? What resources do you need to complete that one goal that you picked out of the 3? The first goal you picked out of the 3. What are the resources that you will need to carry that out? I hear TJ.
Yeah, I wanted to add what you just said about the voice recording, because we were talking about writing it down, and that is a way to do it. Yes, and I do both. I write, and I also use the apps on my phone. There's a voice recording app that comes with your phone, or you can use another time management app. I like Asana, but all of your devices that you have, they record your voice. So it's really, I find it quick to, when I have an idea, to pull out my phone because I have it nearby and just, speak what I have into the voice recording. You can also use otter.ai. It's OTTER.ai. That's another one they have a free limit up to 30 minutes. So you can record and it will translate your voice in the text, so you can use that text in, if you want to write a blog post or you want to have make an update on social media. But you must have a process. So it's either you can write it or you can speak it. I pass the mic.
Thank you, TJ, for reminding me about the Otter app, because That's it. If you have a really detailed vision and you spoke it into your voice recorder, then you put it over on Otter, then
So she transcribed it.
it writes it out for you. Now you have it in written format, like
Mm-hmm.
Dryer Buzz was talking about, because it's now in detail. Now you just go back and say, okay, which part of this am I going to start first? Alexis, please just give us your insight.
Yeah, well, that one of the things I always talk about when I talk about that, because I do talk about that a lot, with that just one thing, doing things, is to make sure that once you do all of that and you do complete stuff, that you close out what you completed before you move on. Because we never do. A lot of us never do. And then we keep on this wheel of doing stuff instead of closing out the one thing that we wanted to accomplish before we move on to the next thing. Because we'll be like, okay, I got it done, and now I'm up to the next thing, and you never got closure. So you always get that feeling like you didn't finish something because you never closed it out. So I always tell people, when you do stuff, after you do accomplish the goal you want to accomplish, celebrate that accomplishment so you can close it out and move on to the next one clean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that reminder.
Don't forget to celebrate.
Close out what you completed. I like that. I'm adding that to this how to achieve your most important goals. We might put that number 6 or 7 or something, Terry, but I like that. Close out what you completed.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about doing one thing at a time. And so you picked your one thing, you completed it, but you never bother to celebrate it. Alexis, thank you for reminding us to celebrate that. It's like, yeah, I did that. I got that book out. I got that course up, and people are paying me for it. And then we're celebrating it. Thank you, Alexis. Jasmine, do you have anything you want to tell us about? And Miss Shawn?
Yes, I would say, and I do like to celebrate that she, Alexa just mentioned the celebrating aspect of it. I think that's really important for us to do for ourselves, and I'm going to be applying that. One thing that I was thinking of is just to have regular check-ins to track and ways to track your progress. So if you have a milestone or something like that, just so that you can say, okay, by here, by this day or by this hour, even if it's a daily task, like I should have completed this. But not only that, just have meetings with yourself or for your business. If we're talking about business, so to schedule times in the week that are designated times for you to review whatever your goals are, just review whatever applies to your business so that, and it's uninterrupted time, you're not scheduling other meetings or anything like that around it, but it's really time for you to just focus on, okay, what have I accomplished? What do I need to accomplish to move whatever the goal is forward?
I love that. Track the progress. Have a way to track it. Have a meeting with self. Sometimes we don't do our own. We will brush off our appointments with ourselves to be in an appointment with someone else instead of making our appointment with ourselves a priority. Thank you for reminding us about that, Jasmine. Got Carlos in the house too. Let's see. We got some comments over here. Oh, Terry's writing our little notes. I'm not sure if this is Mark or someone else, but it said he or she said, I am a huge fan of writing by hand. It's a different energy. Yep. TJ.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, what's up? Yeah, I wanted to add to what Jasmine said. Very good point, and about the check-in, because if you use a tool like Asana which I like a little better than Otter AI. But Otter AI has the, you can translate the voice to text. But if you use the Asana tool, you can set tasks and then you can set a due date. So you're not just putting tasks in or ideas or things that you're working on, and you can say, hey, I need to look at this or revisit this by this date, and it will put, you can put it in and it will set an alarm. It has a little calendar feature because you want to go back in and check. Like she said, you want to go back and revisit, and a good way to do that is to write down, record everything, say for the week, and then at the end of the week, take some time and review everything in there, or you could set the due date if you use Asana. Or there's some other tools also that let you set a date. I think to-do list or to do something, there's an app called To-Do, T-O-D-O, that does the same thing, that lets you set an alarm to pop up on your phone and remind you.
Thank you, TJ. Hey, Dean, we got the Dean in the house. Hey, Dean, we are talking today about how to achieve your most important goals. And do you have any tips on how you achieve your most important goals? Because you be doing big things, Dean. Dean?
Yeah, I love this. Thank you very much. I love this conversation, even though I'm new to it here in this room. I love a thing called Blitz Time and Block Time. Are you familiar with that principle?
No, do tell. Blitz Time and Block Time. Oh, we're getting some knowledge, y'all. Come on, Dean.
All right. So block time is simply to purposefully block out time. I'll do the very short version. And then the idea that you set aside everything else. You put close the door, turn off everything else, and just focus on what you're focusing on, whether it's responding to your emails, whether it's making return calls, whether it's outbound calls, whether it's, prayer and supplication, whatever it happens to be, you focus for a specific period of time, and you use a kitchen timer. So you set it for a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. Block time, total focus. Very few people afford themselves non-distracted block time. So that's the other end. And then accompanying that is a thing we call Blitz Time. And Blitz Time is nothing more than the goal, the aim of trying to accomplish in 5 minutes what you try to accomplish within the previous 40 minutes or 45 minutes of block time. Whether you actually do it or not, irrelevant. But the goal is to achieve as much, like a hyper sprint.
Like a sprint, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And that I found helps me to achieve more in less time, more proactively, more effectively, and more productively than almost any other strategy I'm aware of.
Wow. Dean is dropping nuggets in here. And be sure you follow the Dean. He has some really good training and engagement tools and strategies that he shares over on his Facebook and wherever he is at online. Please be sure to follow him. Celeste is in the house. And Celeste, you can join in the conversation. We are talking about how to achieve your most important goals. Everyone is sharing their tips of things that they've used or learned. And so we would like you to share as well. Anybody else who want to jump in or have a comment on what Dean talked about? I'm like, oh, I'm liking the blitz and the block. Blitz and blocks. Okay.
Yeah, everyone loved the block method that Dean mentioned. Not too good at the blitz because of just the way my mind works, but I definitely love the block that he mentioned. And I think that, it just helps, especially with so much. If you are a solopreneur or you may have a smaller team, it just helps to, prioritize, of course, what has to be done, but also just so you can have that focus, like he mentioned, on whatever task that needs to be focused on, instead of thinking about, okay, I got this task to do, but then your mind's running on to another direction. That's really great. Thanks, Dean, for that.
All right. So we have been talking about strategies and tips to achieve our most important goals. And Mark is over here. He said, "Why is the metaverse trying to erase me? Why is my name not showing again? I'm talking to you, Zuckerberg, the other less wealthy Mark." Uh, yeah. So we are talking about how to achieve your most important goals. We've gotten some great tips from Yolanda and TJ and Jasmine, Alexis, the dean himself.
Mark has a comment here.
One really important tip is that in order to reach your most important goals, that you must have them. It sounds ridiculous, but many are hamsters in a wheel with no direction, simply surviving. Thank you, Mark. Yeah.
Well stated.
You got to have one to complete one. So, and then I liked one of the tips that I'd like was to close out what you complete.
And then celebrate.
And then well, that's it. That's the closeout. The closeout is the celebration. And a lot of times we don't stop to celebrate. And we have Shawana Kennedy. Welcome. We are talking all about how to achieve your most important goals. Do you have a tip for us before we sign off? I know you just got here. And Celeste, if you have a tip, we'll take yours too. Y'all some industrious individuals and getting stuff done and making things happen.
So, here we go.
So, Shawana is here. Go ahead, Shawana. What tip?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Not sure what has possibly been shared today, but I definitely love what I just heard about closing it out and celebrating, because that is key in putting yourself first, right? And making you a priority, never above your creator, but it has to be about you so that we can continue to serve the community and ourselves, because we don't celebrate enough, and which means it leads to us feeling like we're not accomplishing things even when we close out our day. So I wanted to lean in and just say, yes, I champion that, because it's better to get 10 small things done than wait till you get the one big thing done, because you are listening at you. I'll say that. You are listening at you, and your body needs to know that you appreciate the efforts that are being made towards the bigger goal. So don't forget to make you a priority and do something today that your future self will thank you for.
Thank you, Shawana. Woohoo! Yeah, man, this is some good tips.
I love that. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. That's beautiful.
It is. And this was, I'm loving this conversation. And I'm taking these tips, I'm writing them down, because I'm going to be implementing the ones that I did not have down. And so we're going to do a quick recap. Number one, for achieving your most important goal is to write it or decide what it is.
Like have one. You know what I mean?
What is it? What is it that I want? The second one would be to commit to that goal. Change that from a want to I will. Make that a strong commitment. Make that a promise that you're going to keep to yourself. That goal now becomes a promise that you're going to keep. Number three, we are talking about writing it down. And TJ and Dryer Buzz talked about writing it in detail. Not just the napkin form, but going a little longer than the napkin form. And then TJ talked about also putting it on your voice recorder so that when you put it on the voice recorder, whatever it is, and running it through an app like Otter, you can then translate what it was that you now it's in written form and recording form. And then with the voice recorder, you want to go back and listen to it over and over again to keep you focused on what it is that you said you wanted. Then number 5 is work on one goal at a time. Major, major working on one goal at a time. There is no such thing as multitasking. That's for another story, but working on one goal at a time. The next one is number 6 of deciding what's the next steps, writing out the next steps to carry out your goal. Looking at you're looking at your vision, you're looking at your goal, you're looking at what it is that you said you wanted to do. What do you need? What resources do you need? What do you need to study on? Where do you need to make improvements? Whatever it is, what are your next steps? Okay, because go ahead, Terry, if you got a 7. Thank you. I believe this was Alexis who said, close out what you complete. Now you've completed one of your goals. We talked about your top 3 goals, having your top 3. And so you just finished goal number 1. You need to close that out by celebrating what you've accomplished. Don't forget to celebrate. Make sure you remember to celebrate it. You've done it. Celebrate it. Celebrate the win. Do a victory lap. Have a party. Do whatever it is that you need to do to celebrate and close out the fact that you've accomplished that goal. I don't ever think I've heard anybody talking about on your vision board, what do you do when you complete it? I've never... I've never heard that.
When you reach that goal that was on the board, yes.
Right. Thank you, Alexis. Okay. Then we have to track your progress, meaning keep an appointment with yourself to track the progress. Checking in, making sure that you're on track for your process. Meeting with yourself. And then the dean says that we should use blocking, blitz and block. There are times when you're going to be doing a sprint, and then there are times when you're going to be blocking out time and methodically working on your goal or your commitment, blocking that time out. And I call it non-negotiable, meaning that nobody gets in, and it's time that I am setting a timer and I'm working on this only. In that movie, what was it? The internet movie for Facebook. Anyway, you lock in. Get locked in and get it done. Janice Cummings says, great points about honoring yourself. Good tips on goal setting and following through. Thanks. And we want to thank everybody. Dean, go for it.
I was going to say, there's one thing that I didn't hear on the list, and that is accountability relationships.
Ooh.
We will often do things for other people that we would never even do for ourselves. We'll let ourselves off the hook. What gets us out of that warm, comfortable bed for a cool morning run or walk is somebody else. So accountability will help you achieve more in your business and your life than almost anything you can think of. So apply all those strategies and then have an accountability relationship who will hold your lovingly, firmly hold your feet to the fire.
Wow. Do you see why we come in here on Monday mornings? Accountability relationships. I love it. Get a buddy, a goal buddy. I love that. Okay, so now we got 10. We got 10 points, you guys. We got 10 points, 10 tips for how to achieve your most important goals. So take what you've learned today, put them in practice, decide on, which ones you need to, actually work on today, or which you need to put into play, and go do it. And let's check back and see where we are this time next year. let's just see how this works, because I'm excited. So I want to thank everybody who's watching here live on bizchicks.live, those who are here with us in the clubhouse. We got Dryer Buds and TJ and Jasmine, Alexis, the dean himself, Shawana and Carlos, and everyone who may have popped in and had to leave. For those of you that are on Facebook, Mark Ward, we got TJ over there too, Janice Cummings, we had Cecilia, and who else was over here? Everybody else, Dr. Tachi
Dr.
too.
Tati. Mm-hmm.
Right. So thank you
Denise.
all for spending your Monday morning with us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, because TJ is going to be bringing it in on social media and digital marketing strategies tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock over on bizchicks.live. If you would like to be a part of the BizChicks community, you can join in at no charge by texting BIZ to 33777 and getting connected over there. Join us over there. You can tell us about all that you've got going on. Our whole goal is to help expose you to the world. We want to help you take the hassle out of your hustle, because that's what we do. But we also want to help you get your message, get you out to the world to help other people. We have learned so much from one another here in the community. So follow one another, get to know one another, and let's do the next year with a bang. Let's do it. So thank you so much. And Shawana, you and Terralina have the same concept. Terry, Shawana is all about put yourself first.
Mm-hmm. And we are all about, remember, go to the front of your own line. So with that, we want to remind you that tomorrow, tune in to get those strategies from Terry Johnson Online everywhere, right here at BizChicks TV and at terryjohnsononline.live. Also, we want you to know that we're here every Monday through Friday, making it happen so that we can help you make it happen. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everybody.